Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Friday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman, along with Keith Fustel, back from the Ellery training races, and you're ready to take over Dave Rodman's job.
No, I'm not. Can't hold a candle to the rod, dog, but a great day down in Ellery, South Carolina. The Smith family, the whole new committee that are running the trials down there. It was a great day. Record crowd. Got to see some young horses. No 2-year-old races this year, but we might tab a couple 3-year-olds that we saw down there. Give you a little heads up if they make it up here.
Up here at Laurel Park, the spring meet begins next week with spring in the air. All thoughts in Maryland turn to the Preakness, especially this year's Preakness, where tickets are now on sale for Preakness 150, the final Preakness at Old Hilltop. We'll have one at Laurel Park, Preakness 151, and as I've said last week, Preakness 152 at New Hilltop.
At the New Hilltop, absolutely. Looking forward to that. You know, we can't get here fast enough. It's going to be an interesting couple of years here in Maryland, no doubt about it. And the patience, everything, everybody's going to have to be on board. But I think what we're going to see at the end of the road, it should be really, really good, something to look forward to. But definitely anticipating the last Preakness here at what I know as the Old Hilltop.
And the local stepping stone to Preakness 150 is Preakness Preview Day at Laurel Park, which features our handicapping challenge. It's a $500 buy-in with a $250 live bankroll, $250 to the prize pool. Not only cash prizes, not only 2 tickets to the Preakness, but an opportunity to win seats to the 2 most prestigious handicapping contests in the world. The NHC recently concluded, I believe the winner walked home with $825,000. And the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, I believe last year's winner walked away with $150,000. That's a nice amount of change.
That's a nice chunk of change, no doubt about it. And you got a little bragging rights amongst your friends around the local handicappers, but we'll see the line of cars that come in each and every year for our handicapping contest here at Laurel Park. Looking forward to that. I already talked to a couple friends. I said, line up a couple guys, throw in a couple bucks together, put yourself in entry, and try to take down the prize. But anticipating get through that in some of those bigger contests. That's a huge reward, and it's doable. We see it. I mean, we've known some friends that have gotten right there to the cusp.
Just got to get hot, stay hot, as they say. We've got to try to get hot for today's 8-race card to build our bankroll for the Preakness Preview Challenge. Learn more at laurelpark.com. Let's take a look at the weather conditions on a Friday morning at Laurel Park. Temperature warming up. Supposedly this weekend's going to be nice and warm. 59 degrees, winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour, and most importantly, the track is fast.
Yeah, and I saw you had it pretty much labeled fair the last couple days when I wasn't there Saturday, Sunday. Friday, a little bit of a speedy lean to the surface. Once again, go to our website, laurelpark.com, the handicapping page, and get on there and check out all of the information there. It's It's a plethora of information. It's free, and it really, I use it every morning before I kind of get back onto the show and get back to the thick of things, and really, before I put in my final picks, I want to make sure I get everything straight, and I appreciate the information everybody's putting into that product.
We're going to kick things off with race number 1, going 3/4 of a mile for 4-year-olds and up. It's $25,000 claimers down to 20. Non-winners at 2 life. Take out one half of the Jamie Ness trained entry. It's a big scratch. The number 1, Mr. Lincoln. Race number 1 is not only the opening race of the day, it's the opening leg of our first value pick 5. Low 12% takeout on this 50-cent minimum wager. It's one of the best, if not the best bet in all of racing. You can't beat 12% takeout.
Tremendous. Great offer here. Take advantage of it each and every racing day at Laurel Park. The 12% takeout with this value pick 5s. We've got 2 of them. I've got the early one here. I got a ticket for you. Mac's going to have a late value pick 5. I go $32 for my play on this afternoon's card, this early value pick 5. Too deep to get you started. I was going to use the 1, Mr. Lincoln, out. I'm going to stick with the 6, Metagooch, and the 7, Bold Ambition. Too deep in race number 2. Royal Whisper we like a lot. The 3, Divine Grace. We'll lose a little value on those selections with the scratch of the 1, Peyton Elizabeth. Race 3. Really tough little maiden claimer, 30 down to 24, the 3-year-old filly. Scratch the 1, Teddy's Lucky Girl. I go 4 deep, 2, 3, 4, and 7. Race 4 with the 3 and the 5, Concrete Phase, turning back in distance. A new face we haven't seen in a while, Just Great, but for Kieran, second off the claim, I think he's going to be ready to go. Some good works leading into this. Race 5, wrap it up, 2 and 7, Pop. Wyatt's grandfather, Ferris Sailing, Cross of Valor. We're going to try to use her on the front end. $32 ticket.
You mentioned you're sticking in race number 1 with the number 6, Metagooch. You are the president and vice president and secretary of the Metagooch fan club. The question is, will after today you be the treasurer?
I'm telling you, Metagooch, I've chased Metagooch a bunch, and I thought the last race at Colonial was good. There's not a lot of speed in here. I think Better Go Go is going to take initiative here with the scratch of Mr. Lincoln, who looked like the main speed to me. But Metagooch on a track that was holding speed quite well down at Colonial, that 3-day meet, made the move into an interesting horse. It was a horse that kind of ran off the screen that day. East Boston Benny hadn't been back on the dirt for a long time. That was first time blinkers on and Lasix back on the dirt. That horse just kind of freaked. I think Metagooch can go ahead and prompt the pace. It's a good race over this racetrack at 6 furlongs about a year ago. A good number, sharp, higher 60s, low 70 kind of number. I think is going to get it done. Metagooch to prompt and hopefully go on with it.
I'm going with your 3rd selection, the 4, Better Go. I think turning back to this sharp 6 furlongs is going to help this horse relax a little bit. Up and on the pace last time out through some real sharp fractions. Battling through 23.59. Then had to go faster the second quarter, 23.36. Dueling inside a horse that finished last. This horse was still hanging around at the wire. I think that's going to help Better Go from a fitness standpoint, and I think sitting back just off the pace is going to help as well.
Yeah, both of these, they still have a little versatility, the 4 and the 6. So it'll be interesting who wants to go ahead and go. I do give a slight edge to Toriaba. Go ahead and sending from that inside. Might be just a hair quicker if he really wants to fire on out of there. Let's take a look at Bold Ambition's last race. It was not a good start. February the 14th.
Did not break well at all, as you see, just hit from the outside, hit from the inside, the old pinball, and the next thing you know, you are back to last, and it's a long way to come when you're racing 6 furlongs, especially cutting back 2 furlongs, as Bold Ambition did. Bold Ambition ran on evenly at the end of this race. I thought, all in all, this is a nice performance, trying to make a move on the outside at the 3/8 pole to get into contention, and it's a smooth move, but this horse is just expending so much energy while racing 5 wide, it's hard to sustain that.
It definitely is. It definitely is against that field. Wild Hunch was kind of right there, controlled it from the get-go, and is going to hold sway by a length and some change. Rapidity, a next out winner out of that race. Yeah, Brittany and Kieran, a little friendly fire, a little battle going on between these 2 trainers at the claiming box. But this one holds the level at 25 and has shown the ability to bounce back off of weaker efforts in the past. And we'll give him a little bit of a pass last time with that brutal beginning.
You're going 6, 7, 4, and 5. I'm going 4, 6, 7, and 1A in the opener on Friday at Laurel Park. Let's move on to race number 2. We're going 7/8 of a mile. It's a starter allowance optional claiming event, $37,000 $200 is the purse. We've got a field of 6 in here. Take out the 1, Peyton Elizabeth. Yeah. This horse was expected to be favored in here for Jamie Ness, who still has the 3, Divine Grace. First leg, 50 cent, pick 4. If you're out of the value, pick 5. We hope you're not. Get involved in the 50 cent pick 4. If you're alive in the value, pick 5. Get involved in the 50 cent pick 4. There have been some nice payouts.
Yeah, wait for Peyton Elizabeth to come back, and if she's sprinting, she's going to probably be a shorter price. And Rod Dog and I were talking about a stat. I went back and looked, over 13 plus 180-day layoff. And, I don't want to rail on some trick. But when you get these horses that are really short prices, from a betting standpoint, you're looking for an angling to beat. Maybe you prefer her going longer rather than shorter off the bench. Royal Whisper is a horse we both like in here.
We certainly do, and we have a video spotlight for this horse's most recent win. And this is the last time Royal Whisper raced with Lasix. As you see there, kind of hopped and brushed a little bit at the start, had to give up some ground. Watch the number 6 in the circle there, kind of bumped there. It's not the best start, let's just say that, for Royal Whisper. But the fact that Royal Whisper was able to rush up into the pace and still keep going was a sign that this horse was in sharp form. And Michael Gorham saw it as well, because he stepped this horse up into 3 consecutive stakes races. Look at the move, all the way from that bad start right into contention, and keeps grinding away.
Once Maida went ahead and said, let's go, like leaving the far turn, she really responded and went up here 3 wide to go ahead and grab the lead. Is going to open up a clear advantage in mid-stretch. Hold sway. Now here's the kicker. She has a habit. You look at her page, step slow, hesitated, off slow, fractious. We got to get her out of the gate, Dan. If she gets out of the gate at 7/8 of a mile against this group, maybe next episode will show a little bit of speed. I think she separates from this field. Hopefully, as I said on my little video out there on the website, I think the wire just might save her. So let's look at that, and the way this barn's going.
Well, you're absolutely right about the break. I mean, this horse is sometimes slow from the gate, but even if she is here, just has to go.
Yeah,
and try to make the lead and back down the second fraction and sprint on home. We both like Royal Whisper on top. We both like Divine Grace, the horse that Ness leaves into the race as a second selection. This horse did break very sharp, but that race was going a mile last time out. I don't mind horses cutting back to 7/8. I won't be surprised if J-Rod senses this pace isn't very fast, and if Royal Whisper isn't away well from the rail now because of the scratch, maybe J-Rod just goes on with it.
I think he certainly will. I think he's faster than Skip Through the Fire. Isabel's Glory, as I said, way back on the page, 5.5, some speed for next episode. But you're right, Nenny would probably play a little cat and mouse game with Royal Whisper around the turn and into the stretch. But clean break, Royal Whisper is definitely quicker. I think she's quicker, and she can clear against this field, or definitely clear on Divine Grace through the opening half mile.
If somehow there's a pace duel, does it set up for a horse like the 6, Isabella's Glory, off the claim? This horse just fell far behind, going a 1-turn mile last time out, showed some late interest when beaten by Divine Grace. I don't mind this horse turning back off the claim.
No, she's been versatile. She can go 6, she can go a mile. She's going to need things to heat up, and let's see how she reacts first time in the barn for Derek Parham. A trainer who's definitely done well on the past off the claim. Maybe not as much recently. Don't let that stat fool you.
Race number 3 is coming up. Keith's got 2-3-6-5. I got 2-3-6-5 in race number 2. Race number 3 for the maidens, 30 down to 24. Maiden claiming tags. Maryland Bred's eligible for the 37.5. Take out the 1, Teddy's Lucky Girl. The 2, Happy Hour Joker, your 2-1 morning line favorite. This is the first leg of our Chesapeake Pick 6. It is a 20-cent minimum wager. Pick the first place finisher in each of the final 6 races on today's card and cash.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Third race. This is a tricky little race. I don't know if I can really trust anybody. I'm taking a little shot with the 4, Dan. Marmaris for Kieran McGee and Gokman Kaya. See, 3 works on the page. I look back, on the formula, you can look for a little further back. No, 3 recent works. This is interesting. Again, Jersey bred that comes in here was entered for 12.5 recently, scratched. It takes this jump up in for the maiden 30s. The key for me is, well, obviously Kieran and this jock have done just fine together. But Buchero, Stallion, I like his runners. They win early. 20% strike rate with the 3-year-old and up, first-time starters. A little bit on the bottom side, not a ton to get really, excited about. I'll just take a shot here. I kind of smell something with Marmorous. Well, tab the toe too. See what kind of money this horse opens up with. Because Kieran, first-time starters, that's usually not his game.
Not his game, but this horse is bred for speed. Doesn't need to be a superstar to win this race, and Kieran's just been really hot recently. Between March the 1st, March 23rd, 7 for 22, 32%, and a positive return on investment. He's got the former Morris, a first-time starter. I'm going to go with the 7 Lost River. We have a video spotlight for Lost River. Let's take a peek at this horse, who I think is slowly starting to figure this game out. This was down at Colonial, and it's his first start since last summer. This horse is down on the inside. You're going to notice the horse on the 2 is just going to kind of force his way out and bother Lost River a little bit. I think it lost his momentum. I don't think it cost him the race, but he still stayed on and just missed 3rd.
Yeah, and Lost River certainly reacted to that rival that was rushing up like from the 5 path and dropped all the way over to about the 3 path. We did have a subsequent inquiry and an objection in this particular race, and that was drifting. That was DQ'd out of there. But Lost River, I thought, picked things back up a little bit around the turn to go ahead and chase, was willing enough to the wire, showed that sharp speed from the outside. That was first time blinkers, first time LASIK down at Colonial.
I think this outside post is key. Doesn't have to worry about any of that nonsense. Being in between horses, getting pinched around. This time, Victor Carrasco can break, let this horse settle into a nice rhythm, close to the pace, and be clear of traffic. Let's talk a little bit about Las Cesenach. Forrest Boyce had the choice of Teddy's Lucky Girl. Maybe knew Teddy's Lucky Girl was going to scratch. Lands on Las Cesenach. I thought this horse ran really well last time out. It was a race that was just dominated by speed. They ran 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way around the track, but this horse snuck up the inside. Most impressive to me was the gallop.
That's exactly, you took the words right out of my mouth, because, I mean, she was like 4 in front of Happy Hour Joker by the time they got to the turn. Happy Hour Joker, I still thought, ran pretty well, rushing up, chasing, did all the dirty work, a little bit of rebid. I do think a clean break Happy Hour Joker goes, maybe possibly with Lost River. Las Cesenach benefits off of that race, I think sustains a little bit better, like at 6 than the 5.5. Could be really, really menacing there from that last 1/8 of a mile.
A couple other firsters in here, Scholars by Yoshida, but the 6 Rehoboth Avenue is a little bit interesting to me. This one's by Golden Sense, solid stallion. Dan won a couple of turf races around 2 turns, so maybe this is a prep for something else, but this barn has been going very, very well recently. We have a trainer stat for the 6, Rehoboth Avenue. Nesville Balon, 4 for 12. Look at that ROI recently between February 8th and March 23rd, 768. So maybe this horse is live.
It could be live, no doubt. Again, tab the tote a little bit. Golden Sense, top side as a stallion. I've always respected year in and year out. They can basically run on anything. This to me, you've got to spread a little bit in here. I don't think you can zero unless you got the word on one of these firsters. This one's up for grabs.
Well, you're hoping the word's out on the former Morris. That's where you're going 4, 3, 2, 7. I'm going 7, 4, 6, and 5. Race number 4, 3/4 of a mile. Fillies and mares 4 and up. We got 6 in here after the scratch of the 4. Kylo Road. The 3 Concrete Phase for Jamie Ness is the 5-2 morning line favorite. This is the first leg of our late value pick 5. Low takeout, 12% carryover potential into the value pick 5. If the pick carries today, if the pick carries tomorrow, remember, it's mandatory payout Sunday, the last day of the meet.
That's it. Take advantage of that. I love those days. That's when the guys come out. We put ourselves a ticket together to try to take down the money. Do we have a ticket here?
We certainly do.
Yes, we do. $48. It's payday, right? Friday? Yeah, we got the money. So we got the money. $48. Let's go. Race 4. She's going to spread a little bit here with a 1, 2, 5, and 7. I find this to be a very, very difficult race. I was back and forth multiple times before settling in on a top selection. It's a like, it's not a love. Race 5, single with the 2, Seaside Road. I like the improvement last time out with that runner. Race 6, 2 deep with the 5 and 6, Maximus Speed, and I Feel Bad for You, son. Kind of looking at the speed angle. Those two, they look like the horses that could be out on the front end. Race 7, she's got 3 shots in here. The 3, the 5, and the 8. Sassafras, impressive visually. Number-wise, might have to step it up a little bit. Gained a lot from that debut there for Jamie Ness. That's kin to speediness. Race 8, 4 deep with the 1A, 2, 3, and 7. Toss in the 5, Mac. Toss in the 5. I like Mojoke if you can. $48 for that ticket.
She doesn't need your advice.
I
She
know
hit
she
one of
doesn't.
these last
She makes
week.
me look
She's
bad
been doing
every
very,
day of the
very
week.
well. But
She's
I think
good.
we might be hurting her in their second leg because we like that horse as well. Race number 4, 3/4 of a mile, 40 down to 32. Now winners of 3 Life. This is kind of a wild race. Just great coming off a layoff. Society Ball, my top pick, coming off a layoff. Let's start things off with just great because I do believe we have a trainer stat for who else? It's been Kieran McGee's trainer stats recently. Second off the claim on dirt, 27%, a $2.83 ROI. Now, this guy's been away from 6 months, but look at the horses that she's been in against. That race at Delaware last time, I think Malibu Beauty was in that race. She came back to place in a stake here with an 86 buyer.
Yeah, that was the kicker. That was what I took out of that. That was an open race. Devil Pays in Gold, another Kieran rider, Late Frost. None of those types. And here it comes back to the condition claiming. The workouts, too. Again, you hear me time in. Again, I really don't look strongly at works, but you go back and you compare some, and I know Dave likes to do this. This March 9th work leading in, I would like to have seen one more. There might be one that I missed. Sharp. Very, very sharp. Good lead in. Steady works for Kieran. He's going to mean business with his own horse here. Just Great wants to get it done from, I believe, on or just off the pace. Beachfront Breeze is probably your speed to go ahead and send from the inside.
Agree. I think Beachfront Breeze is going to go in here. I'm certainly using Just Great in any kind of multiple race wagers. Wondering what we get from Society Ball. We haven't seen this horse since close to Halloween time and is coming back in a 6 furlong race. Maybe it's a prep for something longer, but this horse has done well sprinting in the past. I like that Lacey's taking the blinkers off, and we do have a stat for Lacey Gaudet. 5 for the last 23 blinkers off, 21% winners, a $2.17 ROI. It looks like this horse got a nice 3/8 blowout 5 days ago on March the 23rd. She's going to have to be sharp from the inside. I don't think she has that sort of speed sprinting that she's shown going middle distances, but she can stay close.
But I think the thing that helps her a little bit, the horse right next door, is going to go ahead and go. Concrete Phase doesn't quite have the speed, I don't think, as Society Ball. So she could find herself a really nice covered up trip to move up and behind horses. They could carry her to about the quarter pole and bring a finish. You look at some of the horses she's faced on the go back. Golden Charm to set. Red Hot Hannah was on a good little roll there, running well. So, yeah, she works for me. I originally had her second in here. And then she somehow left, but she will be used in Exactus.
Concrete Phase is a horse that it's a really interesting move from Jamie Ness, cutting her all the way back to 6 furlongs. Is there a fear that Concrete Phase could be outrun a little bit in the early portion of this race and might have too much to do? Because on numbers, on class, she really fits this race. She's double dropping into this non-3 claimer. She was in against Viennese Waltz and was odds on against that horse last time. That horse already had 3 wins.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be about 7 or 8 out of it at least into the turn. She just doesn't have the speed of Beachfront Breeze or Just Great. Even Dwelling Legacy might go ahead and go. And Lady Sriracha doesn't have to be too far back. She'll probably, she'll see them all, I think, given a good break, leaving the 3. She's going to need some help. But I like to turn back for her here. 6 for 25 route the sprint, second off the claim recently here for Jamie Ness.
And Lady Sriracha we have to talk about because this filly's just figured it out recently for a very good park space trainer in Mike Moore. She's won 2 in a row, including a victory at Aqueduct, and you're right. She's got the speed and the outside post to pick her trip.
Yeah, I like the way she wore down that speed last time out. Numbers going the right way. I know you're a fan. Michael Moore does a good job. The horses look good. They're running well. I like this jockey a lot. Yeah, a player in race work. This race and the 7th, I think, they're really good races on today's card. I think there's a couple different ways to go in each of them.
Keith's going 5, 3, 7, and 2. I'm going 1, 5, 7, and 2. 4 down, 4 to go on Friday's card. We're going to take a break and then be right back for the late pick 4. Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan. He's Keith. Time for race number 5 at Laurel Park. We're going 7/8 of a mile. It's a maiden claimer, 45 down to 36. Maryland sired horses may waive the claiming price for this race. It's the first leg of our late 50-cent pick 4 wager. We've got 2 on today's card, and we start things off with maidens. We always say in these maiden races, watch the board.
Yes, watch the board for sure. You got a firster in here, the 5 Winnie's Dash for Phil Capuano. Recent stats with the firsters. Yeah, not the greatest, but he's very capable with this daughter of Holy Boss out of an unraced mare. You go to Seaside Road. I see the same thing. I'm going to go 2-7. I think these two might have themselves a little bit of a lineup race in here. They come out of the same race on March the 7th. Seaside Road, I guess the proverbial light went on last time out.
Well, we're hoping so, because where did that race come from?
Yeah.
The first 2 starts weren't that great, and then last time out, she ran really well. That pace was solid. She made a 3-wide bid on the turn. She actually put ahead in front, and then she was second best. It was a really promising, though, performance for Seaside Road. I'm not sure she's as fast as the 7 Cross of Valor, a horse that showed much improved early speed last time out, but I think she can stay close, and if that progression is for real and she can take another step forward, she's very, very dangerous. Across of Valor, I love to see horses that show much improved early speed in the second start. That's the old Andy Beyer angle, and those were fast splits, and she ended up finishing behind Seaside Road. Maybe she gets away with an easier go this time.
I think she'll be comfortable on the front end unless the firster goes ahead and shows this speed when he's dashed, but Cross of Valor looked good last time. Got to a fast track. Rail faded. I a little grudgingly late. I thought the horse held well, despite that March 7th track favoring horses from off the pace. Third start out here for Ferris Allen. Could take them coast to coast.
What about the third pick for both of us? The 3, Arise My Love. This horse just might not have been ready when for the debut, when the gates opened up and all the hoopla and hollering. She fell back 15 lengths, and they were going fast early. But you gotta like the way she kicked it in late. And the winner of that race, Lift the Lid, proved that she's no joke. She came back. She won a 30,000 claimer by 6 lengths with a 63 buyer.
We're going to see Lift the Lid a little bit later. Set Ablaze came back to win, I believe, down at Colonial. So, yeah, this was a good race. Hotly contested pace early on, though. That really set things up for the run of Arise My Love. This is a Callie Francois kind of a key play, and Forrest gave her that education. That was the key. Callie had noted in her notes on the website that Arise My Love settled back, and Forrest timed it and got this horse to finish up well. She's perfect with these horses, especially the firsters. Getting that education if things don't really go perfectly through that opening 1/8 of a mile or so. Dave likes Arise My Love as well. A little step up here for Milan Milosevic.
We both are going 2-7-3. Same triple. You got the 6 and 4th. I got the 4 and 4th in race number 5. We move on to race number 6. We're going 7/8 of a mile. Nice little claiming race. 9 in here after the scratch of the 7. The Dingo H.O. Baby. The 5 Maximus Speed. 5-2 on the morning line, and Maximus Speed is going to have to stretch out to 7/8. But there's a chance Maximus Speed might get to the lead and forget to stop.
Now let's take a look at this video. Last time out, March 7th. Again, battling on a not so favoring speed surface.
And dueling with a horse, I know that horse is 18-1 on the outside, but that horse just completely gives it up and ends up finishing last. And Maximus Speed not only puts that horse away, but just when that horse is ready to fold, here come the closers. The 5 on the outside, the horse on the far outside, the 7, and now sneaking up the inside is another one. And yet Maximus Speed is going to fight all the way down to the wire. I thought this was a really, really good effort for this horse, and again, I don't think is going to have to work as hard to get to the front in this race.
I really think the only threat could be I Feel Bad for You, Son. The horse that showed that speed last time out on a sloppy sealed surface going the 1-turn mile. Does he have the sprint speed of Maximus Speed? I think he could hurt himself if he tries to go with Maximum Speed, hurting his chances, I should say, because Maximum Speed is quick. 22 and 2, 46 and 3, picked it up, kept on well. This barn had a win over the weekend. Mavelis got back into the winner's circle. I think at 7's fine. You saw the heights in there out of that race, had every chance to move into that duel and didn't. I had that discussion at 7. I think I still would like the heights a little bit better at 6. just my opinion, I probably just put him right into the winner's circle.
Silent Roar is a horse I must use, though, somewhere in my exotics, because, again, I do like horses cutting back to 7 furlongs, and like Maximus Speed, this horse exits a race where he won the duel, but he lost the war. He was battling it out with Dr. Kringle, who I think was the favorite, and ended up being eased. Those were some solid fractions going 2 turns, and he was still there at the wire. If I Feel Bad for You, Son goes after Maximus Speed, Silent Roar doesn't need to lead to win. He can tuck in behind.
No. And West, he's done good. Weston Hamilton of note. He's had some nice, well-timed runs from just off the pace, and he's a strong finisher on a horse. He can kind of carry him that last 3/16 of a mile. Sneaking Suspicion also out of that Papa Funny race on March the 7th made a little bit of an earlier move to get involved with the flow. As you talked about, Silent Roar was the one that survived, but Sneaking Suspicion can make a run from off the pace against this group. I think the 8 is interesting. Long Astride. That's the other horse that Saray has. Saray has the heights, and he has this horse Long Astride. I thought one easier than what it really looks. Sent off a close to 5-1. Be a Skybeam was a short price in there, but at no point did this one look like a loser.
And received a really nice ride that day. Never let Be a Skybeam get away. Got to the outside and blew by that horse. Step up in class, but it's going to be a price. 5-2-1-8 for Keith, 5-6-2-4 for me in race number 6. We're going to move on to today's feature, race number 7, 3/4 of a mile. First level allowance with a 62,500 claiming option. 8 in here. You've got Shakara Fire, who did wear blinkers last time out. Will wear blinkers again today. Shakara Fire has a lot of back class, but breaking from the rail needs a trip, and this horse usually needs a little bit of something to run at.
And this is the type of race, Dan, where she's got 11 races under her belt now, and we've got a couple of these fillies that really showed a lot in debut, a little bit more lightly raced. Have we seen the best of Shakira Fire is what I'm asking you. And is there somebody that's going to make that next step, early on in their 3-year-old season?
Personally, I think we might have seen her best. After 11 starts, it's hard to project a lot of upside, but she is solid. She does have a kick, but you have to demand value. If she does go off the favor in this race, and maybe she won't, with Brittany and a couple of other talented runners in here, I might not want to play her at too short of a price. I threw her in 4th. You've got her in 2nd. Let's start with your top pick, Atlantis Queen. I think this is a fascinating horse going out for one of the best trainers on the circuit. That's Gary Capuano. We have a trainer stacked. Second time Lasix on dirt, 12 for the last 29, $3.50. 15-cent ROI. Chased 2 next out winners in the most recent start.
As we've said, Gary Cap, second time anything. Those numbers are high. 315 ROI, first time tag. So we're going to be in for the tag today, right? The 62.5. Atlantis Queen, I always want to kind of envision these races. I kind of want to see Torrealba get aggressive. Was caught in amongst just behind horses a little bit, had to alter out through the stretch. You look at some of these workouts leading into this race. She looks like she's sitting on just her top second Lasix. Let's go ahead and get involved. I know she's no Uncle's Got Speed to the outside. Lift the Lid could be part of it, laying close. But I think Atlantis Queen, I want to see her mixing it up around the turn.
I was very impressed with a couple of debut winners in here. You talked about Sassafrasness before the 8th. That horse made 2 moves and was able to win the debut. But I was really taken with the number 5, High Path for Brittany Russell. This is a daughter of McKinsey who kind of hopped up in the air and then got bumped a little bit at the start and seemed a little bit green. Turning into the stretch, Sheldon looked like he was loaded. And this horse just seemed a little bit green when changing leads and drifting in. But to her credit, she was able to alter course inside the pace center and was running on at the end to get the bob. I think she's going to show a little bit more maturity with that race under her girth.
Yeah, I mean, after getting, that break, a little lunge, a little hop in the air, and Sunbrand just was really eager early. The greenness set in top of the stretch, but the determination was there through the final 1/8 of a mile to get up. Divine Works came back to win, posted a pretty solid number for this kind of group, right? A 66 down at Colonial. She certainly works, has upside as well as Sassafrasness.
Talk me into You Make Me Charlie. First time Lasix off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, her numbers really just don't stick out. The debut race, though, projecting at 2, now moving up to 3. That 57 is good. And we've got video of that race, of the debut. This is what I wanted to show her. The next start was okay, but I wanted to come back to this race again because she relaxed beautifully, saving ground. You've got a loose leader. The internals at Colonial, that track's a little quick. Yeah, she had that little shuffle there always the poles at Colonial because the track's bigger here at the 5/16. But it's going to be able to regroup, make this progression inside, then work out. to win going clear. Now, have the horses come out of there to, do anything super special? Maybe not, but we're coming back off of a break. Lasix on. Steady string of works under her belt. I think the 6 works better than the mile. 7/8 I think could even work for her. She's run against My Charm. Rosie on the river. Rosie's come back and won a couple. Things get really contested up front. I definitely fear You Make Me Charlie, because she's definitely one of those that showed the talent early that might go ahead and make that big jump here.
You're right. You're still looking for horses with upside. She's only had 3 runs. That debut for a first-time starter, get locked in behind horses coming out and rallying. That was a big, big effort. Probably even better than the Buyer speed figure indicates. We're going to close things out with race number 8, 7/8 of a mile, 12.5 down to 10 maiden claimers. Maryland breds eligible for the 15. Take out one half of the Diane Marisi trained entry. That's the 1 Blind Eye. The 3 Hallelujah Harris is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Let's start things off with Hallelujah Harris. This is a horse that is usually right there. 7 out of 12 on the board. Similar situation, I think, with Shikara Fire. Not sure if this horse has a ton of improvement left in him, but may not need it.
No. I mean, he comes out of some okay races. The 2-back try. You got Awesome Harry comes back to win. And the last time out, unfortunately, I was looking, I kind of had this note as well, but Mac sniffed it out and showed. You get beat by a $325,000 purchase. Debut runner for Brittany at Charlestown. So good pickup there. And you can't really fault him for that, but he's 0 for 12. I'm using him underneath. I do think he's going to make a move into this pace, because I think it's going to be fairly contested. The horse I'm looking for, you've got this one, is Mojo here for Robbie Bales.
Just the complete stranger, dropping into a bottom-level maiden claimer. Robbie Bales doing very well. Has run 3 times on synthetic. You obviously like the source on dirt, and you like the blinkers on.
Yeah, the dirt is there. Half to a 2-time dirt winner. Both were on the front end sprinting. It's 7/8. Will we see this one go ahead and go? I don't know. Stormy Hollow's got some speed. Cool Train with the blinkers on could bring it, but the stamina build-up is there. I like this barn switch, from a 7% trainer in the Robbie's barn. He's been doing good work. He does good work year in and year out. So I give a slight edge. 10-1 on the morning line, I think, offers value, a little bit of a get-out possibility. Also rooting for a guy like Tim Vick, too. One of a smaller smaller barns, doesn't have a whole lot of horses, puts in a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears. Uncle Gray ran pretty well last
Another
time.
situation of where did that race come from, and maybe it was just a situation where after 3 wet tracks, finally first-time Lasix on a fast track, and that's what Uncle Gray had been waiting for. That was a race where they ran 1-2 all the way around the track. This horse tried to get into it early, prompting the pace, just wasn't quick enough. Wound up in the pocket, got to the outside, thought finished up okay. If this horse can run back to that 60 Buyer, it's all over.
It's over. If he brings that race back, absolutely. He kind of was nudged up early, then taking the rate. He made a couple different moves in that race, and I've got it, kind of grudgingly late as well. A little flat, maybe, but this horse was still giving effort against a better group.
Let's bring back the Quinella. You got 5, 2, 3, and 7. I got 2, 5, 3, and 4 in race number 8. Before we get to our top plays, we do unfortunately have some sad news to report.
Absolutely. Costas Triantopoulos, we've lost recently an owner that, I never had a chance really to meet, but all I needed to do was see him around the racetrack, the smile that he brought, everything. I've heard nothing but positive things about this man. Put a lot into this, and obviously the restaurant Costas Inn, and they've got something going over now at Timonium. This is a tough one here, unexpected, and we definitely more. Costas Triantopoulos.
Owned a really good horse back in the day named Smile My Lord, who I think was 3rd in the Amsterdam up at Saratoga. Really fast horse.
He and Dale Capuano really teamed up for a lot of wins. I think he was over 100 wins as an owner, and it's just. We see we've lost some really good horse people here in the last couple of months in Maryland. Sad to see.
Very sad to see. Let's take a look at our best plays, though, for our Friday card. Keith, where are you going? I like this horse, too.
Yeah, I go to Royal Whisper. Unfortunately, this price is going to get chopped with the scratch of the rail horse for Ness, who was, I believe, is going to be the solid favorite there, Peyton Elizabeth. But Royal Whisper, Mike Gorham, hedging towards 30% right now. His stats, he's had a great 2025. Royal Whisper just needs to break. I think she just has more tactical speed than the rest of this field. She can use it to her advantage. 7/8 might be a little tough, but I think if she gets away easily enough through this opening quarter, she can hold firm against this group.
Now, speaking of early speed, that's where my best play is hopefully going to be, and that's On the Lead. We take a look at race number 6. It's the 5 Maximus Speed, 5-2 on the morning line. I think 7 furlongs is well within this horse's scope. It's all about whether Maximus Speed can get a little bit of a breather. We're going to get a little bit of a breather because Dave Rodman's up in the announcer's booth getting ready for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Park, where the track is fast. Under partly cloudy skies, temperature is 60 degrees, light winds out of the southwest. Here's a look at your Laurel Park changes. First race, scratch 1, Mr. Lincoln. Part of that entry, 1, Mr. Lincoln out. Second race, scratch 1, Peyton Elizabeth. Second race, scratch the 1, Peyton Elizabeth. Third race, scratch 1, Teddy's Lucky Girl. And to work out for number 6, Rehoboth Avenue. March 4th, Delaware Park, 4 furlongs, 50, 1/5, breezing. Fourth race, scratch 4, Kilo Road. Fourth race, scratch 4, Kilo Road. Fifth race, a workout for number 5, Winnie's Dash. March 9th here at Laurel Park, 4 furlongs, 49-2, breezing from the gate. Sixth race, scratch the 7, the Dingo Ate Your Baby. Scratch the 7, race 6. Seventh race, note number 1, Scarrow Fire. Ran with blinkers last out, has blinkers today. Blinkers last and today, number 1, Scarrow Fire. Eighth race, scratch the plain 1, part of the entry. Hey, Blind Eye, number 1, out of race 8. Following the 8th race, races 9 through 14 from San Isidro, Argentina. 19 minutes to post time. Chesapeake Pick 6 starts in race 3 today. Early value Pick 5, late value Pick 5, both with a 12% takeout. Mandatory payout early, value Pick 5, carryover potential late Pick 5. "19 minutes to post time. Reminder, we also have a Jackpot Super High 5 at race 6. Track edition fast. Good luck today at Laurel Park.